also in there. But right now, Stalwart Esports is really paving the way in multiple ways.
Yeah, and with Star Wars Esports, I mean, as I just said, getting that chicken dinner to finish off the game put them in a great place to hunt down Vampire Esports, and hopefully they will be able to continue to do that because it's going to be a battle between these two. But then you heard Jason say a team that actually surprised us was Falcons. This was a team that just kind of came out of nowhere. Falcon Esports decided to show up and started performing really well. And what's crazy to me right now as we're looking at this circle is that it's almost the exact same circle that we got on the first game yesterday. And we know what Vampire Esports was able to do at that time. I mean, they were able to collect 24 ELM points. Could this possibly benefit them again?
And I love that this circle is actually really good for this plane path here. We're flying in from Stalba down to Primorsk. A lot of the teams are going to be able to get into the good drop spots for this. Again, thank you to Sony Xperia, the official smartphone sponsor here for the event. Super great to have you guys on board. And now we see Regans and back-to-back actually kind of chasing each other. J-Way taking some shots. There's a DPS in play here in Flower C2. Let's see if we're going to be able to have some potential knocks. It's a little bit of a chase, actually. We have an UMP in play on J-Way. But Polo and the boys here in the coop are going to be leaving.
And I'm pretty sure back-to-back is going to try to not lose anybody. This is a team that's currently in 18th place, dead last. So you don't want to start off the day two when you're wanting to make a comeback like this. And you can see the chase finally stops. It's going to be great for them. And with back-to-back, I mean, at some point here, they are the NA hopes because they're the only NA team that are going to be participating in this next 2 weeks. Right now, it's not looking like it's going to go their way.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that sense, you know, having multiple teams that I can cheer for my kind of home region. We have a Tom, we have Vivo Keat Stars, so I'm kind of fine with that. No, it's obviously unfortunate that they've had a really rough start in that matter. It is day two, so they've only played 33% so far. They have 12 more games to make up for it, which is going to be interesting to see. Now that, you know, especially the amount of preparation you can do from day to day is huge. So the question is, have they prepared? Have they spent that time getting into seeing, okay, how can they improve going into day two here, and how well they're going to be able to do compared to some of the other teams?
Yeah, hopefully they went back yesterday, watched a lot of VOD, figure out what's going to be happening today, right? And treat today like your day one. This is something that we were actually talking about before the show started.
Yeah.
They might as well treat this as their day one because their day one was absolutely awful. And for everybody watching at home, let's watch PMWI together. Complete daily missions to earn points. Once enough points are accumulated, tap on the rewards icon to claim the corresponding reward.
Yeah, exactly. And you can participate in the event solo or with your teammates that you usually play with. It's obviously easier if you're able to get that together with a whole team, and you can get the reward easily. But
I was going to say, we have seen some great skins.
Oh, for sure.
Especially the PMWI packs. And between August 4th and August 13th, they are going to be 50% off for the PMWI packs. Get a set straight away and have 5 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
Yeah, and that's a further sale on the PMWI packs, and you can get 6 chances to draw the treasure chest from PMWI.
Well, what I'm going to be looking at here is, I mean, I would like to see some of the bottom teams. I mean, Virtual Gaming Squad. This was a team we saw a little bit like they didn't know what they wanted to do yesterday. I forgot which map it was exactly, but they weren't sure what they wanted to do. If they wanted to be pushing or if they wanted to be a little bit more patient. And you can see a bit of a disconnection between that team. I'm hoping today they went back, watched that VOD, and they're going to be more assertive on what they want to do. Whether it's aggressive or defensive, as long as everybody is on the same boat, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, especially the teams that were able to do well yesterday was the teams that were either very aggressive together as a team, moving together and getting the eliminations that they were for, or super heavy focused on getting the placements, trying to stay 4 alive as long as possible. Because obviously, if you are in a 4 versus 3 situation, you're the team with 4, you have the upper hand just by nature, by that. So that's the very hard focus. One of the teams that did that, obviously, was Donuts. We saw their game on a wrangle. They were able to hold down the barn, just east of Pachinki, and then move out and then take over control of the late game, which was very good to see, of course.
Yeah, and you're talking about Erngirl. They ended up getting the chicken dinner, right?
Yeah,
on top of that, they ended up the first game, 4th place, 8 Illims. So far, Erngirl has been working for them. Can they continue on this trend? And I mean, same with Vampire Esports. I know we've been talking about them, but I want to talk about them a little bit more because their damage is just out of
Insane.
this world. I think it's almost more than 2K damage than the other team with the second place damage, which is going to be Donuts. To put it into context, the damage dealt from Vampire Esports, 9,503. Donuts in second, following them, is at 7,638. So just, you can see how much more aggressive Vampire Esports is right now.
Yeah, I'd really love to see how they're able to play. Damwon, another team that we've seen some from. As the guys are managing in a desk, you know, we want to see more from them compared to what they were able to do at PMGC2. And, you know, we're having big expectations to these guys. You know, they are a team and a organization that have huge respect amongst all the teams here and globally. So let's see how well they're able to fare throughout.
Yeah, and I mean, you heard Jason say too, Damwon Kia. This is a team that just hasn't performed. Like, we haven't seen them at all. We saw them getting eliminated over and over again, and they finished off at least they finished off the day with the 5th place and 2 elims. So maybe that'll spark up. Maybe they'll be able to carry some kind of momentum. I'm hoping it happens for Damwon Kia.
They're super focused on their placements. They want to get high placements, but considering that we have these 2 extra teams, the most of the points that you're getting in the total games here does come from eliminations, so they need to focus on that as well. But being able to still have, you know, their top 10 placements, but they're just not able to convert some of these eliminations and not stealing enough kills like some of the other teams are really excelling at right now. On screen, Cielo from Vivo Key. We have a lot of teams that are already taking in some of these positions that we are close to the river, which is going to be really hard. Some teams are obviously taking some terrain that could be high ground or very easy to traverse across the river, or potentially gatekeep on some of the bridges that we see here on screen. So high ground here in the castle, overlooking multiple angles.
I was going to tell you, with Vivo Keyed, I was actually really impressed with how they were able to play yesterday. I mean, they started off the day in 8th place. I think at one point they were in the top 5, which is good to see that Brazilian team, we know them how aggressive they can be, and we know how great they did in Sandhawk. I want to see them translate that a little bit more to Miramar, because Miramar was not the strongest suit. I know we're currently not playing Miramar, but I am already thinking ahead for that team.
Yeah, really looking forward to see if they're able to step up and show what they're made of. We know they're capable of great things. Also what we've seen both regionally in PMPL, but also the PMPL Americas Championship, where they did well too. Here we have Bucks Gaming on screen. Now next circle is going to pop here, and it is going to be a great one. The question is it going to be an odd one? Is it going to be a center one? It's going to be a center one. So actually the vast majority of the teams are already in, but look on screen 7. There are some teams far outside the current circle.
Yeah, I mean, we heard the analyst from Vampire Esports said that STE, they're going to be looking out for that team because they're playing so slow. I think this is just a perfect picture of what he was talking about. Most of the teams are already starting to rotate. They're in vehicles. They're trying to position themselves. And guess what? Star Wars Esports are like, we're taking our time. We're not going to rush through this. We know exactly what we're doing, and I'm pretty sure they watched a lot of VOD review from yesterday and try to see how those teams were going to be rotating, especially since, in a way, this circle does kind of mimic a little bit of what happened yesterday with some of the Aaron girls. I'm gonna continue to expect ST is going to continue to just play it slow, as we do have an engagement here coming up. Damwon Kia going up against USG. Who's going to strike first? Who's going to get that first knock?
Yeah, this is one of the high ground positions that we saw really key for yesterday's game, that also ended close here in Rushock, obviously, with Vampire having 24 eliminations. Damwon Kia Song taking a lot of damage from the utility here, and a lot of damage can be put out. I want to see multiple nades. I want to see more, not just one nade at a time. I want to see nades on both sides, deep into this warehouse, that could potentially knock some of these Damwon Kia players first right now with an M16 in hand. Some more heals are popping off, and they're using the Molotovs to deny any peaks that are close. They don't want to commit much more to this fight here. Now Virtual Gaming Squad takes on Falcons, and Gaddafi is able to take down Yusef.
And we were talking about Virtual Gaming Squad being decisive on what they were going to do, whether it be aggressive or defensive. Guess what? Right now, they're being aggressive. And, ooh, powerful from Team Falcons, almost being able to get that nade. Oh, 1 HP? Are you kidding me?
Falcon returning the favor on the Virtual Gaming Squad. Super unfortunate for Luigi there, yeah. Never alone able to finish that off. Damar here on the front line. And Virtual Gamers going to splitting off here. I think Zeus could also potentially be taking an anchor position on the high ground or disengaging from the rest of his team. They need to figure out what they're going to do here. As you're saying, a little bit indecisive. You want to see them play together and really execute these situations a little bit better for them to pop up on the leaderboard. But it's obviously, it's very hard to defend a compound like that. So when you don't have any other teams around that are putting pressure onto Falcons, because it's far north in the circle, is most likely not going to end there at the moment. Now, Wildcats on screen fighting Vampire. Wildcats obviously coming out of Turkey.
And Vampire Esports, are they going to continue with that aggressiveness that we've been seeing out of them? And also, I know we're currently watching this fight, but with Virtual Gaming Squad, I'm glad that they decided to rotate one player out to get the angle. That's completely different than what we saw yesterday. A little bit more decisiveness in their aggressiveness. Love to see that out of them. And Wildcats, what are they going to be doing here? Are they sure? Are you sure you want to take this fight against the team that's currently outputting the most damage? If I'm them, I will probably need a confident booster. I'm going to go for it.
All right, next circle is slowly moving in here. Stalwart coming into the circle, joining just as this second circle closes here, 7. Let's hope that it comes close to them. Otherwise, they can just stay in their cars and keep rotating. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. Oh, it's going to pop north. Okay, so we actually eliminate all the rear play now. All the teams, they're going to be focused on getting across. Potentially, we could see some gatekeeping, some bridge camping, but most of the teams, they obviously want to get into some of these situations where they can lock down a compound, because in this circle here on the north side, there are not that many compounds available. You kind of want to fight for them early on. Obviously, also the road that goes on from Yasnaya up to Cerveny is a huge factor. There's not a lot of cover around that road except for those few compounds. And
as I'm looking at the map here, I'm going to be looking at Stalwart Esports. How are they going to try to break into that circle? Are they just going to do a full-on rotation edge of the circle and slow it down as they've been doing? Or are they going to get a little bit more aggressive now that an opening is happening for them and try to reach that? I think they might just play that outer circle.
Yeah, we'll see. And also we saw just on the map real quickly that back-to-back is actually in front of them, so that could be rough for them. Let's see what the situation is going to be later. We'll jump into now. 4 rivals on screen coming out of Malaysia.
Oh, this is a fight that I want to see here.
This is a big one.
Adon Esports, please. You guys are currently in 16th place. It's a team that I expect a lot more, especially with the new player, Senna Texa. We saw some flashes of greatness yesterday out of that team, but just not good enough, hopefully, today. And TJB, I mean, this is 6th place. I'm pretty sure they want to continue on that trend. They want to continue to position themselves within those top 5. Because remember, top 5 is the desk, and the analyst was saying they are going to be moving to next week when we do the after party, and that's going to be even that's going to be even crazier. Wait until you see what's going to happen. Now, I do want to let everybody know, currently watching between August 4th and August 13th, all users in the region of the top 3 teams will have the chance to win a prize, maximum of 1 award per user. Keep an eye out on that. And here we go. They are going to decide to engage.
Oh,
TJB is actually boxed. Atan Esports might be wanting to back up, and Box is just going to be full sending it as he's able to run over a player with Kiss. And Box Gaming is just absolutely destroying the TJB players. There you go. There's a little bit of a break. There's a little bit of a trade for them.
Yeah, that's a rough situation. Let's see what they're able to do. Also, you can see Vivo Keed in the distance, and now all the teams are definitely moving into the circle, trying to get into a bit of an angle here. Box taking some shots at TJB, putting more pressure onto them. Can they continue? They try to eliminate them right now. Oh, Shao! No, he goes down. He's getting traded real quick. Sabu, insane by Box.
And it is going to be just Trismi. As Trismi is getting third party, he's going to hop on that car and just decide to back off as Vivo Kid was trying to get into that action. And I'm surprised, actually, that Atani Esports decided not to push the action even more. I feel like they might have been able to third party and at least get some free ilims. Some of the likes of what Vampire Esports was able to do on the first match yesterday. And here we go. Bots Gaming, Trismi. Now it's just you. Now it's trying to find a place where you can maybe secure some of those extra points for your team. And guess what? Wildcats, Vivo Key, they want to get on that party too.
Defoe, can he do? He's going to try to go for the rest. No, he gets straight. Diego down, Adrian down. It's actually only McGrillen left here against Hexray and Boran. And Vivo Key is out. And we can hear our Turkish colleagues be pretty damn happy for that, because it looks like they could potentially get both their players up again. Now Vampire rotations coming in. Solo Mega there with the DP28.
Yeah, and Team Solo Mega is going to get caught, and he's going to get knocked right away. His team, though, is going to be able to position themselves. This is going to be an interesting fight, even though Vampire Esports don't have the height advantage. I would love to see how Team Soul is going to be able to defend this. They're thinking about getting away. I don't think they're going to have enough time. Hector decides to lay down. Can he play this snake? Can he get some knocks? He gets spotted and he gets absolutely knocked. Luckily for them, that distraction was able to just create some chaos. Some 2 players from Team Soul were able to get away, but guess what? Atan Esports, this is what I wanted to see. Try to third party something. Send a text, throwing some nades. Send a text, trying to get some angles. You see Choco in the car going around, seeing where the players from Vampire Esports are, and Choco's actually gonna full send it with the vehicle, trying to spot somebody.
Now a replay of Vivo Key and Istanbul Wildcats, but let's go back to this fight here. Vampire Atan. Circle has popped again, and it's actually not close to these guys. They have to move. Vampire getting back to vehicles, trying to move on. And Stone jumping into the buggy. He's going to be rotating into Circle right now. A lot of damage. This is, again, they're fighting for terrain that is not inside the new circle, rather than focusing on, all right, how are we going to get into the new circle? So you can see the focus is on the eliminations.
And the good thing there from out of Vampire, as we are seeing Wildcats just taking shots for rivals, is that Vampire Esports being able to just stay patient, stay calm, even though they did have 1 player down, make sure they control the chaos that was happening with Atan Esports. They were able to revive their players too, and they are going to have those 4 players. And we know what happened yesterday on some of the matches. You definitely want to have all those 4 players alive. Get any advantage that you can over the other teams.
Atan is slightly inside the circle. Wildcats are considering how do we get in. There's mostly open terrain here. I think they're going to try to fight this against Atan. And TJB is in the distance here, you see as well. A lot of teams on the west side here, 7, that are trying to make their way into the circle and get a grip inside the new circle that are currently being pushed by the blue zone. More shots coming in. The Wildcats taking a little bit of damage, but utility is being used very well. Shots coming on onto Atan. Choco has to hit the floor. While Boran hits a lot of bullets, he doesn't get a knock on that one.
Choco just barely being able to duck down just in time, and that smoke is going to help them out. Hopefully they can try to find a way to get out of there, because they're going to get sandwiched between Damwon, Kia, and Wildcats here. That's not a position that you want to be. And guess what? I think on the side, I was able to see some Team Soul players. There you go. Cinetexa, being the smart player that he is, being the veteran that he is, trying to see if he can maybe make a push up or find some kind of angle to get a knock and allow his team to rotate out of there. Right now, for Atan Esports, it's not looking good.
Boran has to push in. He's in the blue zone. He does find a knock on Cinetexa, and the rest of the guys from Wildcats, they're sending it in on the cars and the vehicles. X-Ray finds one on Cinetexa too, finishes him off though. It's another point going there. Ray Boran taking some damage. He's going to be found by Bruno.
Bruno getting ran over. I thought he was actually going to be able to get somebody before he was found. He wasn't, and here we go. Wildcats, Atan Esports. This is massive for Atan. They need to be able, they need to win this fight. 666 just waiting, throwing some smoke, making sure he confirmed those elements. Those are great. That's going to be some points that are going to be a must. You never know what can happen. It can come down to just 1 point. Here we go. Is it going to be Choco? Is it going to be Wildcats? Who's it going to be? And then we have a player from Team Soul, Goblin, just waiting patiently. And this is actually something that we saw from Team Soul yesterday as well, being able to just slow it down. It was just 1 player. Once again, it's just 1 player as well. Yesterday, they ended up with a 5th place and 3 elims. Can they do that today? Can they get within the top 5 with just 1 player?
Yeah, nice finish by their Istanbul Wildcats. Are able to terminate them completely, eliminate them, and get the points on the board. Atan is out. That's the 17th team. Donuts here on screen. Stalwart has a decent position. The circle is getting very close, and the southern side of this circle here, where Stalwart and Donuts is under a lot of pressure from many teams, and not that much space, not that much terrain available for most of these teams.
Yeah, and I was seeing some trades there on the Elim feed. I think it was back-to-back between RSG, and there you go, Wildcats out as well. Vampire Esports, here we go. The aggressive team, they're trying to find some people too. Not able to confirm anything there with 52 Esports. Looking around, trying to see if there's going to cause some kind of damage. And more, I see more there on the other side of the gas line. As I talked about that, guess what? Vampire Esports continues with the nades, and they are knocking people as they are trying to get different angles. Fluke being able to knock Deku, but Gaddafi is starting to third party. Oh no, Vampire Esports starting to get third party from a lot of people.
So much pressure on this southern side here. Vampire Esports is out in 14th place. No placement points, but 3 elimination points gone their way. Soul is out as well. 15th place and 1 elimination for them here. Stalwart is really controlling this. They're able to maintain Pika, finding a lot of shots up to 52. Now that is 52 out in 13th place with 2 eliminations here. And now the placement points begin here from 12th and up, getting 1 point for that. So let's see how much further these teams can push themselves.
This is when it matters, and this is when we're going to see teams. What are you going to be doing? Are you going to just decide to go aggressive, or are you going to decide to go a little bit passive? Dan One Kia just getting 2 of their players confirmed and eliminated. And here goes Forrest, trying to find a different location because it wasn't working for them. Box eliminated in 12th place with just 1 elim, too.
Enigma Galaxy as well out in 11th or 7th with only 2 eliminations. A lot of teams are going out early. Falcons going out in 10th, 2 eliminations. TJB under a lot of pressure from Damwon Kia. Damwon Kia again in these situations where they're able to get really good placements, but I want to see them able to finish this off. That is back-to-back out. They're out in 9th place, while Damwon Kia here, 2 players, but 7 eliminations. They've really stepped it up compared to yesterday. They did not get that many eliminations at all, and now they're able to combine both placements here.
We also saw TJB Esports getting eliminated, and look at the circle right now. I know you guys, you can see it a little bit on the top right. There's only 1 team that's inside that circle. It's going to be Morph as TJB gets pushed. And guess what? Oh, that was early. That was the replay.
Yeah.
Okay, threw me off. I was looking at the map, and I was looking at Morph, how they're just currently sitting pretty in that gas station.
Yeah, exactly. Morph is good in the gas station. Stalwart has the high ground. They actually have to come off that high ground lip there of the ridge, which means they're going to be fully exposed. The question is, how many more can they take with them? 4 rivals in a good situation. They are following with a lot of cars. They could potentially pull up under the gas station. There's currently no one doing that. Looks like they're going to be choosing to do so. Monkey, it's still 2 players in this situation, but 7 eliminations is good. We only have 6 teams left with 18 players.
And here goes 4 rivals. 4 rivals trying to make the push and everything against RSG. RSG lining able to knock 1 player. Can he knock another player? He doesn't. He gets knocked himself. The other teammate trying to back him up. Lappy decides to lay it down and try to just slow down things a little bit. Can 4 rivals survive this? Or the grenades are going to start coming in there from GC RSG. And here comes the first knock once again from RSG. Having the upper hand against 4 rivals, and now the angle started. No, nobody's going to be there. You want to look at the other side because Pembur is currently laying down. He knocks somebody. He's not going to be able to knock somebody, but guess what? RSG survives. They are able to trace some of the people, and they are going to be able to confirm those elims.
Yeah, but 4 rivals, they go out with 10. Let's see what Dambakir is going to be able to do. Junil Hef just here. Stalwart's under a lot of pressure. Need to use more utilities to get him either out or get up some of the soft cover from the smokes. He just spotted him. Action saw him. And Donuts is out on 5th. Shots coming in from Action again. One of our top fraggers here in PMWI so far. It looks like they're going to be able to get the rest off. Reckon's also recovering from a really rough fight with 4 rivals, while Morph inside the gas station. There are only 2 players, so they are not going to move out aggressively on this. It's simply not worth it just yet. But we're down to just 3 teams. Reckons, Stalwart Esports, and Morph, and Reckons and Stalwart is the only teams with just 3 alive. Morph still 2. So let's see who can get the most out of this situation. But I want to say Damwon Kia did get 16 points just for that. That was actually a crazy good game for them.
It really wasn't. I mean, 4 rivals, too, being able to get at least 10 points. Now, Morph, they've been here for a very long time. Everybody knows where they're at. I did enjoy what Rocky was doing in regards to just trying to find some angles, seeing what Star Wars Esports was going to be doing, and Star Wars Esports still slowing it down.
And this is the question, right? They know the circles on the gas station, and they know that they need to either clear Morph out. But if they start this fight with Morph, that means that Star Wars is going to push up and third-party that fight. And that's the really interesting part. Morph just wants to defend. You can see the utilities being thrown. Nice nade coming out and finds double D right there. Fire actually really well played with the utility, while GZ is actually putting pressure onto Star Wars. Finds multiple with the vehicle explosion.
GC coming up huge, being able to shoot at that vehicle, exploded, and Top, I don't know if Top is going to get revived here. RSG playing this very, very smart, and Morph is just, as you said, backing them off with utilities, throwing nades, making sure that, hey, don't get close. Please don't get close. And I think, I thought he was going to be able to spot him right there. He was not. Tables have turned for Star Wars Esports. I think this, honestly, I'm going to say I think it might be an RSG game.
Could be, very well, yeah, for sure. They are getting the rest off. It seems like Stalwart is outside. It's going to be a healing situation here for Scree. Let's see how much he can get out of it.
Oh!
Lightning keeps him pinned with that angle precision for Reckons. Super important here. Now the Molotovs are coming off in the corner to try to deny the peek around the corner. They want to maintain them inside this because the circle is going to move away from Morph eventually.
And this is going to be great for RSG. They know exactly where they were. They want to take care of Star Wars Esports. They have already done that. Let those utilities run down on them. And as you said, the circle is going to be moving on them. So this is just a patient game for RSG. And I love that some of the players are laying down, trying to get some kind of angle below that fence because you are going to be able to see those feet moving and seeing where they're going to be rotating. What are Rocky from Morph going to do here as they are pretty much a pin? There's no other way around. I think Rocky, if you're going to try to go for it, I would say try to maybe go around it and just yellow it.
Yeah, let's see if they... Or the question is, how much utility do they have? Can they do some counter smokes? But I love this offensive smokes that Reckons is currently doing, making sure they cannot look out, making sure they cannot actively do something, and then they can put in all the utility that Reckons still have, and they're able to loot up on the Fall Rivals fight that we saw earlier. 5 eliminations for Morph so far.
And with Morph being so defensive earlier, throwing those utilities, I think at this point, they're not going to have any utilities to kind of help them out here to try to breach out of this pin that they're currently on. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, I don't think they have any nades, and they might not have any smoke grenades as well. They really haven't gotten into that many fights because they've been in this gas station for so long.
I reckon it looks like they have this completely locked down here, 7. The question is, can they get more points? Can they squeeze anything more out of this? Or is Reckons just going to clean up? That would be 12 eliminations for them if they're able to get both of them. And the win, too, with another 15 points. It would be a 27-point game for Reckons. Wow. They're able to do so. Shots coming in. Lightning takes down Rocky. And it's now a 3 versus 1.
And for RSG, I think... I love that they're doing this. They're saying, hey, we don't have to push that. We can just let it happen. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. RSG ends up getting that chicken dinner. 26 points.
Whew. That's a huge
That's a great start.
And both of these teams are middle pack teams right now. They are chasing. They're trying to get into the top here, 7. That's the really interesting one. But Reckons able to close this one out. The Wolf team, as you see here on screen with our amazing stage here in Riyadh. Really good game to start things off with here. Obviously, Wrangle, first game, they know it so well, but it ended up completely different to what we've seen so far. Damwon Kia really being able to step it up and get these eliminations that they have so hard been needing yesterday.
Yeah, and a battle that I was actually going to be looking forward to seeing between Vampire Esports and also how Star Wars Esports was going to be doing. Star Wars Esports actually being able to come out on top in regards to points and the rotations. I mean, the way Star Wars Esports are playing right now is just so slow, patient, let things happen. It's going to be great. The consistency out of this team, I'm just impressed.
Yeah, super impressed with what they're able to do, but the Circus just didn't play in the fair until later. But they're able to defend that high ground little house that they got so many eliminations and they squeezed out so many points from. But it went away from them. It went to the gas station, unfortunately. But I will say this first game here, amazing. Is there any other things that you were really liking that you saw here from the first game?
Morph, great start. Great start. Yesterday, I mean, they won first 2 games. They ended up with 0 points. For them to be able to finish second place here, even if it's not chicken, that's just going to be such a confidence boost for them.
Yeah, exactly. All right. That was game number 1 here. We're going to go over to the desk here.